Hello there. Welcome to Paranormal Experience with Kat Hobson. That would be me. I am so glad that y'all are here tonight because, I had to make a guest change, and I have so many really wonderful friends that it's hard to know who to call. But I have Denise and Ron Pridemore with me tonight, and they are both brilliant. They're both tired because they were up doing the shows on the election cycle last night, and they are just beat. And I have to tell you that my producer Carl also was beat, and he's here, and he's so amazing. They all are. But Denise is, she and Ron are Paranormal Pride, and Denise and I started on the same network. She came in shortly after I was doing my show. She is a fantastic host. Her show is the Paranormal Pride. Ron does it with her. And we are both on the Bill of Rights Network, the Things Network. Hey, Jeremy. And we are just everywhere you want to be. You've got the YouTubes. This show airs on X. So I really like doing that. But now we're going to let Denise and Ron come in and tell you a little bit about themselves. They are transplants to my favorite part of the world, so they love it. So, Ron and Denise, hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Are you getting ready for your birthday tomorrow?
I am getting ready for my birthday tomorrow. So I am really, because you know me, I don't mind birthdays. A lot of people are funny about that. My sister cried on her 40th birthday or 30th birthday, locked herself in the bathroom, my nephew said, and sobbed. But that was
Really?
that was 30. Yes, literally. You have to understand some people, especially women who, she's beautiful. She's always been, just a beautiful adult woman. And so I don't see any reason to have a problem with that because I love birthdays and I love big birthdays. This isn't one. But last year I got an allowance from the government, so that was a fun one. But it's so funny that people judge themselves so harshly based on how long they've been on the earth. I don't understand it either.
No, I'm just making the best of it. People may not notice this, but what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
I don't wear makeup.
I do wear some makeup.
I don't usually do anything with my hair except wash it. But I will say I am vain. I do dye my hair, or you guys would see I'll look like a skunk, pretty soon. So that's
I do that too.
So I'm pretty proud of being 59. And I think every birthday after 59 should be a big birthday. Everyone that we're still breathing, not pushing up daisies, is a big birthday.
Well, I agree. I'm going to be 63 tomorrow. So I think that's a pretty good day.
You only look 36.
I love you. I love you without that, but I love you. Thank you.
It's true.
Thanks.
So you make a lot of us younger people feel old because we just we have to run to keep up with you.
What else? Well, you are going to be keeping up with me next summer, right?
As of right now, yes, it looks like we will be. We were just waiting for some results to come in and the tests came back positive, so we get to go.
So I'm not even going to ask because there's so many ways that could go. Hey, Gary. Nope. Gary's in chat.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary. Hey, Jeremy. So, but no, you told me we couldn't talk about certain things, so we're not.
We're not. It's all good.
So
but I can't believe that they're going to let us out of the country and they're going to let us into the country together.
They don't know what they're in for.
Don't tell anybody. I know. Yeah. And for those that don't know, Rick McCollum is hosting a tour to Ireland, and it's through Secret Ireland Tours with May Hernan. And she is one of the most wonderful human beings. Y'all heard her here a couple of weeks ago. And I'm excited because usually we go to Scotland, and I didn't know what to think about going that close to Scotland and not going there, right? And I didn't know there's a ferry to go from Ireland to Scotland.
Oh, well.
Rick said no. It goes on the North Sea. And yeah, which is water. I mean, like way big. But I was out. The only other time I've been on like a water adventure was when I was on that cruise ship during Sandy. So
time.
that was, I mean, I am apparently an adventure traveler, even if it is by mistake. So,
well, we kind of have to go to Ireland with you to make sure that you come back in one piece.
Well, I have been very, my wood. I have been very fortunate with that because I travel with people that make darn sure that, yeah, when I first went, I had to still use my walking stick. And then somebody took it. I left it in a restaurant. Somebody took it or whatever. But so then I did the rest of it with braces on my knee. And so this year I was wild and free and could climb and, wander around. And we went to, I don't know what it's called. It's a spring, and you tie wishes. It's not Danino Den. You can do that there too at the top. But this was a different place that the Highland Paranormal people took us to. And it was so cool. But it was very adventurous, relatively speaking. So, and of course, all the streets are cobblestone and stuff. So, and they're wet because
I have to say, we're pretty well used to the cobblestone from Atchison, because all their streets were brick that was laid back in the late 1800s to early 1900s. So it was all kind of wavy and all that. So, and no, Gary, I don't think they can.
Probably not.
No, I don't think
it's going to be so fun.
And it won't be just the three of us. That's the thing. There's other crazy people that we're going with.
That's right. So Lori will be there. Mikey Thompson will be there. Gina and Stephanie from our first trip to Scotland are going to be with us. Rick's cousin and her son are coming. And last time they brought a friend too. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. I don't know if anybody from Dark Zone is coming. But I mean, it'll just be so much fun. And you're like me, you like adventure. You like to see things. You love to see things.
Well, we both have family. I'm pretty sure you have Irish family.
Mm-hmm.
I have Irish roots. So it'd be kind of interesting to go and see some of that. We were looking at flights, and, those are one of the flights over there. You can pay almost as much as you want.
You can, but we have found, and this is a cheater trick that Rick found, because he was going to go to Scotland first and then fly over to Ireland. And I'm like, oh, I might want to do that. And he's like, well, but I'm going to be seeing my friends. I'm like, well, I have friends there too, but I know my way around Edinburgh. And if I'm just visiting Edinburgh, I'm fine with that, because Lori will be with me because she's my travel partner. And so, he started looking at flights, and if you fly from Atlanta to Dublin, or especially to Edinburgh, it's like $2,800, right? I know you've been looking. It may be more than that right now, but if you go to Norway, like if you go through Amsterdam, the price is still that much. But if you fly to like Norway or somewhere that's in the EU, and then fly to Edinburgh, it's much cheaper. So, hey, Rex. But it was, so we've been trying to find ways to make things a little bit more cost effective, because travel is expensive.
Well, you're gonna have to school us on this part, because I know that we can't book our flights until they tell us to, I guess. So
does everybody try and get in around the same time?
That's what we. Well, when we did the first Scotland tour, and that was with that evil person that shan't be named because she doesn't need any advertising from here. But it was, you're supposed to be there, get in one day, meet the next morning at a location that was easy to get to. And hey, Justine, but it was so oh, and she is coming in from the UK. Nice to see ya. And hey, Tom. But it's just so, I'm sure that's how this is going to be. And so I don't think it'll be. May is very organized. She's done these tours for ever. I mean, literally a very long time. So we're going to be in great hands, and we're going to go to all these paranormal locations. We're going to go to Limp Castle, which I'm very excited about. We're going to go to the Hellfire Club. And, I love paranormal travel. It's about the only travel I do, but unless I come down into your world. But I'm excited. I'm so excited you're going.
Yeah, that the only thing we were holding off was on test results. So once those came through, now we can make our decisions. It was either
we won't have money stolen from us, so
it's either a trip or
go.
So like I said, we'll do it, and I'll get that reserved while there's still places to reserve. So but yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to our first cruise in 2025. So that's going to be fun. And
where are you cruising
to? Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, we're driving down to Tampa.
Right.
And we're meeting up with family.
Right.
The family that's not loved by some other families right now. But we're going to go on this trip, and we're going to have fun. And
we won't have any of those on this trip.
No, none of those people are coming. And even Lacey's going to try to fly out from Vegas and go on the trip.
Oh my gosh. That's going to be exciting.
Yes. And Emily, the girl who used to do my hair back in Kansas, she's coming. But she's Lacey's best friend. So I told Ron, I said, I could almost have her do my hair
while you're there.
Yeah, we come get off the boat and my hair's like this,
No, I don't think so. Well, it depends on if she hit the free cocktails before she did it or not.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any free cocktails. So
you have the drink card or drink package, whatever, food and drink package.
See, that's a waste for people who don't drink.
I know. But if she does, then it'll work for her.
Oh, well, Lacey said, Mom,
I'm sure they will.
Mom, bring a bottle of wine with you, and have Dad bring a bottle of wine, and have Grandma bring one, and Uncle Roger bring one. And she goes, we should have enough wine for the trip.
For one morning, anyway.
Well,
but
for them.
If it's a 3-day trip, maybe.
It's 5. But yeah, so we're
you're going to need more.
And do that. And when we come back, we think we might stay in Tampa for a little bit and go check out, whatever. Rocky Stucci moved down there. Love to visit with him. And he's so much fun to talk to. Of course, he's also intense to talk to, especially when you get into certain subjects with him. But he loves the paranormal topics, which is really good. And we also want to head out to Sanibel.
Oh my gosh. You will go early to Sanibel, and because it is the seashell place.
Oh, I know. And it's the perfect time. I mean, it's in February.
Mm-hmm.
I know that all the snowbirds are down there in February. But
seashell queen right here.
I know, right?
We were down there Saturday with 5-6 foot waves, and she's out there hunting seashell.
It's what you do. I mean, it's what I do.
Well, with us now babysitting the grandkids, you've got an 8-year-old, 9-year. 8-year-old that wants to do things.
Mm-hmm.
She, I figured, you know what? We need to make some
It's
Christmas
amazing that
ornaments
she's
for
8 years old.
Yes, I know. Christmas ornaments and, other things. It's got to be great. So I've been saving craft crap since we got here. Plus we have a whole lot of other craft stuff. And I came up with an idea of something that she's going to love. And Nolan lost part of it.
Oh, no.
And so now I have to hope I go through enough fanny wipes between, because the little round thing on the loves. Okay. If you take that off and you put it on, so I'm thinking about putting it on a Grand's biscuits bottom, the metal, and putting a picture in there of Piper and Nolan, and it's a big locket.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
And I thought that would be a really cute thing. She could decorate the outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to say Huggies on it then, but it'll make a really cute Christmas ornament. And she can decorate it with seashells and stuff. So I saved all kinds of seashells. I just found anything. If it was broken, it didn't matter, just colors, so that she can just glue them on there and she can make herself her very own Christmas ornament for her mom and dad.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah. So you got to come up with stuff that's going to keep them interested. And, we thought about taking them to a graveyard and stuff, walking them around and telling them the history of, different things.
Right.
But Nolan will run off and you can't really push a stroller through a graveyard.
Depends on the graveyard.
Stroller?
No.
They did that one in Pensacola, you could.
Well, yeah, I could, but I like to walk
stones down.
I'd like to walk through the grass and have them see the history in there. So he's still too young for that, and as of today, it might be muddy. We got rain for the first time.
We got rain too. So, but that's good to know. That means the dust will be down when I get there.
Oh yeah.
So, and Rex, if you would fit in a bag, we'd do it. But you'd have to get shoulder surgery again.
Yeah.
After we folded you up. So
how are you flying over there? Are you flying out of Atlanta, driving up there, or what?
I usually drive. I fly to Atlanta and then fly on.
Yeah.
But there's a shuttle service here that takes us to the Atlanta airport. Mm-hmm. But I just as soon go ahead and it's a long flight, so I don't want to already be sitting for 2 hours when I'm going to be sitting for 8, and that's a thing.
Yeah, but, I mean, we know that leaving from Pensacola, no matter what, we're having a connector. The only way you're not getting a connector is to drive to Atlanta. I mean, the only good thing is we know where the Atlanta airport is.
That's true.
I'm not driving.
We've only been by it so many times. and it's not any cheaper, though. It's not any cheaper to leave from there. And I know at least here we could have somebody pick us up at the airport, drop us off. We live 20 minutes from the airport here.
Yeah. So, and that's a nice little airport.
It is.
Yeah, it's easy.
I mean, we flew in there one time. We were flying back to Birmingham from Orlando, and we stopped in Pensacola for some reason. And we had the kids with us, and we got off the plane. They just took our luggage on. We didn't tell anybody, but we just got off the plane and got a car and drove over to Gulf Shores and hung out, and then, went home the next day. That may have been just us. Either way. But, and when it was all of us, because when we got to Birmingham, we just went to the airport and picked up all the bags. So,
luckily they were there.
They weren't going to go anywhere. That was their final destination. But
no, I'm surprised, nobody grabbed them.
Oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't have grabbed them. Well, I don't travel with fancy bags when I'm, but they look like some derelicts trying to live out of them or something.
Yeah.
So that works.
Yeah. Nobody wants to steal your bags, right?
Although I did take some really cute ones with me last year, but they have flowers on them and stuff because I figured that nobody else would have them, and I didn't see any like them anywhere.
Mine are purple. I know you're shocked.
I'm shocked. You have something purple? Ah, I don't
You're
believe
just
it.
lucky my hair is not purple. Let's be honest here.
Well, I think didn't you have a purple streak at one point?
No, I had a purple wash. So
Okay.
it looked purple in the sun,
Mhm.
but I never went any further. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. So
Well, we have a question in chat from Barbie. I need glasses. I have glasses.
she asks, have you ever encountered evil spirits and did they try to attach to you?
Well,
And
you go
in my
first.
case, yes.
Yes.
We encountered, I don't know if it was evil or just
Ugly.
nasty, but we were the tour guides or your spirit guides at the Sally house at one time. And we had something there that decided it wanted to come home with us. And Ron's got a whole story about that. It didn't attach to us. It just kind of traveled to our house to visit us at random times. But
just kind of hang out.
Yeah, hang out. I mean,
let us know it was there.
Yeah. In fact, one time I saw this thing above our bed. It woke me up and it scared the living crap out of me. And you could feel the heat coming off of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this thing it looked like its skin was melted. It burned black with bright red and really red eyes, and it had talons,
Whoa.
forearms and 2 legs and huge ears. And I saw this thing. I told somebody what I saw, and my friend Adam Tillery is a sketch artist, so I wrote everything out, and he saw it. And he sent me a drawing and said, is this what you saw? And then I sent back, I said, no, it was more like this. And he changed the drawing and sent it back to me. And it's like, yes, it was like that, but imagine it in color, and what I saw leads up to when we did that film, that the deep darkness that's never seen the light of day at this point. And
probably won't.
And when we did all that, we had one morning, we had an encounter at our house after this. So you want to finish that part?
Yeah, I'm usually the first one up. So I got up that morning and we had 5 or 6 cats at the time. And they'd wait for me to wake up. As soon as I would get up, I'd go to my daughter's room and feed her fish, just in case she forgot, which she usually did. But I got up that morning, and as I was walking to her room, no cats followed me. In fact, I was looking around. I was like, where are they at? So I went in there, fed her fish, and I'm still looking for the cats. So I come back out in the hallway. I look in the room. I don't see any cats. So I thought, well, maybe they're out in the kitchen. So I got into the kitchen, and I get out there, and every cabinet, drawer we had was open. And really? Carl's been to our kitchen. It's a great big country kitchen. There's about 40 doors and drawers at least. Everyone was open.
Wow. And
I went, Denise, we got a problem. She goes, oh.
Yeah.
So I went and I took care of that. And this was, this was about a week. It was the same week that we were starting to film the film.
Yep, that same week.
With Richard Grund and Joe Stratrone.
Yep, Monday morning.
And I don't know if you remember back to my second show. My second show was with Joe Stratrone. And he had said, I will never go back to Atchison. I will never go back there. 3 months later, I interviewed him again. And after the show, he told me, he goes, I'm thinking about doing this project up there. Okay, so this is 9 years ago at this point, you know, and he's going, I'm thinking about it. So about February of 2017,
Richard was kind of pushing to do it too.
They contacted me and said, we're doing this. Will you be our liaison with the city of Atchison? And I said, you do realize that we're just tour guides. I don't live there. We have to drive, 90 miles to get there. And I said, I'm more than willing to do it. You just have to understand, how far we are from it. And they told me, hey, we're going to do this in August. I'm like, oh, okay. And the day they told me, the first thing that hit me, I didn't have a calendar. I'm on my phone in my car in the middle of nowhere. And I go, I think that's the day of the total eclipse. There's not going to be any hotel rooms, nothing. Somehow, some way, I got them brand new on the market Airbnb. Nobody had ever stayed there before.
They just bought it.
They had just
bought it. Wow.
Know the owners that had a hotel. We called them up.
Yeah, I called her up and I said, do you guys happen to have any rooms available at the Glick? And because that's straight across the street from the Sally House. Okay. And that's one of the places that they needed to be, was the Sally House. And she goes, no, but my son just bought this house that he's turning into an Airbnb. And so we were the first people to get it booked for them during the eclipse, before anybody ever even knew it was available, because there was not a hotel within 60 miles.
150 miles.
150 miles. Yeah. We had people calling to see if they could park their campers in our yard.
Oh my
and we were only at 90% totality where we lived.
Wow.
And so we did all this, we got it done. But when they called me about this, the next day is when I had this thing show up in our bedroom. So it was a precursor to all the stuff that was going to happen in 2017 with the Sally House. So our last day doing tours at the Sally House was September 30th, 2017. And we have not been back in there since. Got a message from Deb Pickman today, which is strange.
That is strange.
Well, they just got started doing some stuff recently. And she said that she misses us doing the tours there, because they actually said that they would hear about the stuff that I would tell people, and they felt like it was at least truthful compared to what they were used to.
Well, it was.
It was truthful. But
I mean, you're not going to be anything else.
No.
But the thing is they, in the beginning, before the Ghost Adventures thing, we didn't meet them until April, after that aired in January of 2015. We never met them. We didn't know them. I just knew about them and that they lived in town, and I respected their privacy and just kind of stayed away. And when we were invited to meet them, that was great. But yeah, she said, she goes, I had no clue that you guys moved. And it's like, well, how would you? We live 90 miles away anyway.
Yeah.
But I told her, I said, we're thinking about making a trip in April into the area. We don't know where yet. But she said, if we make it to Atchison, we need to stop in and see her and Tony.
Yeah, we will.
She goes, we need to catch up. And I was like, well, that sounds like fun, because, we've only been to Atchison twice since 2017.
Really?
One was to see a friend who came into town from Baltimore that used to live there. And the other time was...
I was there for work about every, couple months, but I didn't stop the visit. There was no one there, really.
Yeah, he went to Walmart and
most of the people had already left. Joe and...
So, yeah, we... and we investigated the McIntyre Villa with Katie and Katie Stafford. Oh, and Sarah Lemos. I forgot what her last name is. Arn? Something like that.
Or new?
Yeah. I forgot. But so I don't know. So hopefully that answered your question. It didn't attach to me, but it attached
straight up
to, it could come and go as it pleased until I did something to make it not.
What is your son name?
what was my something? My something was holy water and very forceful prayer.
Hello, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
So happy birthday, Tom.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday. You know, I wished him happy birthday twice. I was like,
so did I.
I thought I told him this already, but I added it in there too.
Yep. I sent him a message because, you know, we just spent some time with Tom at McPike Mansion back on the what was it? The 19th?
3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks.
So he came down to well, let's just say we surprised a lot of people.
Yes, you did. I was so excited for them with that.
Yeah, because you were the only one that knew. Even Carl didn't know that we were going. You were the only one who knew besides Sharon Ludke, who's the owner of McPike Mansion. And in a way, I kind of wish she didn't know too sometimes. But
in the month of October, she has so much going on, she's going to forget whatever you tell her anyway.
But as soon as we walked in the door, she goes, busy. Thank God you're here. Can you do this? Can you do this? Sure, yeah. Where's it at? Oh, it's in the basement. Okay. And I, you know, he went down and he got something, and then she sends me down there, and it's like, because I'm looking, I go, the lid's missing. She goes, it's in the basement. I said, I'll find it. And it's not a basement that you ever really want to go in. It is scarier than the basement at the Sally house. I'm just saying. Really? And but I found I found the lid to the coffee pot that I was looking for.
Oh, her basement. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
hey, you sent me down there.
Yeah, I know I did. Well, she sent you down there.
That's why.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was so funny when we got there. She just started telling us what to do, and she was, "I'm so sorry," and I was like, "I don't care." I said, "This means that we are
friends." I mean, that's how that rolls.
Right. I said, we're very comfortable in our relationship, no matter what it is. I said, I'm just so used to you telling me what to do. I just do it.
Yeah.
So we ended up being there for a bunch of their tours, and then we camped out, and Dara, Caitlin, and Lisa were just so surprised.
I bet they were tripping out.
Crying. And then here comes Tom, and they're like, oh, crap. They did it again.
Yeah, they're looking around like, is anybody else going to show up that we don't know about?
So
no, I
guess you got surprised like you were surprising.
Yeah, we have a different vehicle, so they didn't even recognize it. So we drive by, and I kind of wanted to see who was there because I wanted park somewhere else and then walk in, but they're in the middle of pitching their tent. So crap. So I turned around, and I just drove up where they're, pitching their tent. And I just had the window down. I said, hey, is this a private party, or can anyone join? And they all kind of looked and like, oh, who's that? What? Like, who's this guy asking? Why are you asking us?
Because that's so cool.
Because that
they went behind the tent and
started crying. But they were expecting if we'd have had the blue Hyundai, they'd have known who it was.
Yeah.
But since we got a new car, the only person who's seen our new car is you.
Yeah.
At this point, Carl knew we got one. We just, it's a car, Yeah.
They did go back to their old ways. They just dropped what they were doing and said, oh, thank God you're here to put up our tent like old times.
That is so funny.
So, and like I said, it was just like, we'd never not been there. And so we did that on that Friday night or Saturday night. And we had a good time in the basement. And what was interesting is that we had 3 different ghost boxes going, and all 3 of them said Denise. Kept saying my name. And
so you surprised more than the living.
Yeah. And what was really strange was that we're sitting there in the basement, in the cellar, and I go back and I sit next to Ron after, I sat in the front and did some other things for a little bit. And then I get back in the back near Ron, and I go, it stinks. And he goes, what? I go, it smells like stinky feet. And I have other people looking around going, and then I have this Mary comes over. She's one of our friends there. She comes over and she sits behind me and she goes, "Oh my God, it does." I said, "I didn't fart."
Yeah, I said nobody. I didn't smell it. I was sitting next to her and no one else around, just you two.
And I told him, here's what I'm seeing. I'm smelling this, but I'm seeing this. And I said, for some reason, I'm getting the name Mike. And I go, "Mike, what's your favorite song or band from the 70s? And across one of the boxes comes Elvis, the name Elvis. Because, what's strange is that people always want to make the spirits at the location that they're at to be in a certain time period that they can't be from any other time period, only this one, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
And I said,
they're when they lived.
Yeah. And I said, well, the mansion was empty for a long time and there were vagabonds or homeless or whatever you want to call them. Back in my day, they would have called them hobos, but this guy was dirty and he stunk. And I kept, that's why I told him, I said, I believe that his name is Mike. And so it was interesting. They, the people who were at the house all the time are going, "No, that's not right." I'm like, I can't go with anything other than what I'm told, because usually at McPike, I don't speak up about what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, because I'm usually out running around cleaning up trash cans or all this other stuff.
Not down there.
I don't get to be down there. But we did have visits from Coyote Chris Sutton. He was there.
I'm glad.
And we knew it. And there was a lot. It was very interesting to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not only did we get Chris, then we got Chris on that following Friday. So we did not plan 2 more days at McPike. Okay.
Right.
So we did Saturday the 19th. Then I worked all week. In St. Louis, I basically sat there in a chair next to the window and just typed away as much as I could. Oh, and I started a show for somebody. I don't know who. And,
can imagine.
And so, we did all the things that we had to do. And we get a call on Sunday after we left on Saturday and said, "Hey, can you get us into McPike Mansion?" I was like, I don't know if I can, but I'll ask. I never ask anything. So, so I called Sharon and got it approved with her. And so we didn't tell anybody who was coming, except for Sharon, of course, because we didn't know if the guys were doing something special, if they were making this a surprise. So we lucked out, and David and Charlie came up from Boogeyman Radio. I don't know I know David Glidden and Charles Fort.
Yes.
And but to us, so everybody else calls him Charles. We've called him Charlie since he was 18. We've known him forever, long before paranormal stuff. So, but yeah, they decided that they wanted to film there some. And that's when Coyote Chris sessions. Yeah, in between sessions. So we had 2 buses and a tour group that we had to work through all this.
Oh my gosh.
And of course,
he's busy in October.
Yeah, I got the parked car while Ron and David and Charlie went with the tour group down into the basement. And like I said,
you were going with them. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to enjoy that part, but what was funny was Sharon calls me, yells at me.
Your head on the iron door.
Yeah, just get a concussion again.
Steel door. I'm sorry.
Sharon yells at me and says, "Come here. There's a lady parked in the driveway." I didn't know if she wanted me to, tell her where to go. Quite literally tell her where to go.
Right.
And,
dump her on you is what.
Yeah, she did. She dumped her on me because she needed to go do the tour and talk to everybody. Well, this lady came up because she owns a haunted house there in Alton called the Purple Martin House. And Sharon's like, she goes, I'm as sensitive as a rock. She goes, I have no clue. She goes, if I hadn't been led through all these different tours with, Coyote Chris and Sandy Little Lizard and all these other people, she goes, I'd have no clue what I'm looking at. She goes, I'll let you talk to Denise. She can solve your problem. I'm like, oh, great.
So she loved that.
Yeah.
But you're good at it.
Well, I talked to the lady and she said, well, I had a group that came in. And she goes, Bo and her group came in. And I said, you know what? I said, let me get with Bo. She lives here. I don't. And tell her what you're telling me, but I will message her and let her know that you want to talk to her. And so after the lady talked my ear off for an hour and 10 minutes, while her car was running this whole time. So it's a very expensive talk. And I got all of her information, sent it to Bo so that, because I told her, I told Bo, I said, I don't want to tell her something different than what you told her. Because, I'm not in the house. I didn't investigate it. I can't tell you that kind of information without going there. She goes, well, do you want to come over? I'm like, no, I can't come over right now.
I'm a little busy.
She was showing pictures on her phone. She says, there, you see it? Not really. What am I looking at? See the face?
I hate when people do that.
Okay.
It's like, I need a bigger screen.
Yeah.
But,
little bitty phone does.
But again, I didn't want to be that person to go, oh, it's this, and make the other paranormal.
But you can't do that.
No. So I just referred her back to her and did that. But she was a very nice lady. And I told her we ever come to town again and she wants us to come out. I said, we'll definitely come. I said, it's Purple Martin House. It sounds like it's right up my alley.
Without a doubt. I was just thinking that when you said it.
Yeah. And it was just funny. So we were up with David and Charlie until about midnight or 1 o'clock, investigating over there. And from there on Saturday, we went back to McPike Mansion and met up with Susan and Mike.
Oh, how fun.
We went, to kill a little time till they got there, we went cemetery hopping.
Yeah.
We went to where the McPikes were buried.
Right.
We found, Robert Wadlow?
The tallest man.
Finally found his grave.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as you'd think.
Well, it wasn't.
They must have folded his legs.
Well, he was 8 foot tall.
If you try and map it, every time you look it up, it changes the spot, changes locations. So you kind of had to go, okay, well, it seems to be in this area by the highway.
Right.
So I said, we walked all over the place, and I finally said, let's just find something. But he had a distinct stone. So I said, we should be able to spot this thing. Yep. But it wasn't as big as we thought. I guess we were looking for something bigger. But that would stand out. Yeah. But yeah, the shape was different.
Yeah, it was kind of shaped like a leaf, but a little bit off. But that was at one cemetery in the Upper Alton Cemetery. Then we went over to the other cemetery, which is in Alton, and there's a whispering wall there. It works. The Elijah Lovejoy Monument, and it's just very acoustic. Yeah. Ron was on one side, I was on the other, and I said, say something. And it was like he was just yelling in my ear.
Oh.
Yeah, I just kind of whispered.
Yeah, me too. But you could hear it.
What did I say?
Oh, you probably said something you shouldn't have said.
This is not really a rated show, but you're going to make me blush. Don't make me blush.
Yeah, we tried 3 or 4 different things. And I did just like barely whisper, and she said, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it was very acoustic. That's so cool. It was kind of really neat.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what, concrete or some kind of stone, the way it's shaped.
Yeah, it's not concrete. I think
it looks concrete, but it's also, I
think it's probably marble since it's a monument.
Right.
So
did you intentionally make it that way?
Yeah.
That it does that?
Yeah, it's round, and
They-
I mean, you were sitting quite a ways from me,
Yeah.
about 25. Oh, probably
Yeah.
further than that.
And see, Elijah Lovejoy died in the 1830s.
Okay.
And he died because he was an abolitionist.
He was murdered.
He was murdered. But he was murdered while trying to save his printing press from being pushed into the river for the third time.
Wow.
So some people speculate that this was possibly one of the beginning, not battles, but the beginnings of the Civil War, was because this is one of the earliest known abolitionists to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So they think that there's maybe some situation, but yeah, he had moved from St. Louis over to Alton just so that he could print his paper. And like, okay, well, see, now he'd be really loved there in Alton. But and not only because he was a newspaper guy. They love newspapers in that area. They still read them.
We
So
don't have one anymore.
yeah, I know, it's amazing. I mean, some of these towns, like Alton at one time had 12 different newspapers being printed there. Atchison as well, you know. So we did that, and then we went over to the Mineral Springs Hotel. And before we went to the Mineral Springs Hotel, we had walked down to this old building that was moved from the St. Louis World Fair. It was built by the Quakers for an exhibition there. Well, the building was actually taken down and moved to Alton. Some guy bought it and had it rebuilt on his location there.
That's cool.
And
Neat house.
so we're walking around, and we go into this place, and you know, they have ice cream and candy and gift shop upstairs. And I mentioned something, of course, I have on a jacket that says Ghost Patrol. So you already know where this is going.
I
the lady
do.
sees it, and she says, "Oh, I see your jacket." And I'm like, "Yeah." So we're volunteers at McPike Mansion. And she goes, "Well, people always ask me if this is haunted." She goes, "It's not." But then she goes on to tell us a ghost story
Right.
about the place.
That's funny. People do that. It's like, oh no, it's not haunted, but you know, this just it never fails to just make me laugh.
Yeah, and the thing is most people think haunted is bad, that it's something horrible. But she had a haunting that she said was a little girl, and that she was in her house, and her whole family saw this little girl. And she was, and sometimes she comes here, and there's the building used to be used as a dance studio at one time. And this one lady, she's 90 years old, she's still alive. And she comes in there every once in a while and tells stories about when she used to change her, you know, put on her dance shoes on this bench in the store, you know, in the store now, from when back then. And she tells me the same story every time. She goes, but she's always, this is her favorite place. She goes, so it makes me wonder if the spirit here is related to, you know, it being a favorite place. So, and what's really neat about this building, not only is this building haunted, right behind it is a building called the Enos Sanitarium. It was part of the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
We've been in it.
Yeah, we've been in it. You can't get in
all the way down the cellar too. Actually, cellars.
So it's an apartment building now, and they got it all cordoned off to where you can't get in there. But it was used as a tuberculosis sanatorium, I guess, back in the day. But it was part of the Underground Railroad, and they took us down into where they discovered where the Underground Railroad participants would have stayed.
I've been in an Underground Railroad place, and I want to say, I think it was still in Ohio, where the big picnic basket lives, the Limburger, I think, picnic basket.
Okay.
It's like the size of a football stadium. But anyway, not really, but it's big enough that it takes your eye. But so the energy in the one I was in was crazy. What was it like in the one you were in?
It was, I think there was too many people to really be able to tell. We had too many
Oh,
people
we had a
that
lot, yeah.
that were.
It was a walking tour.
Yeah, it was a walking tour.
Oh, okay.
And the when we went on it, it was all these people that were, kind of jumpy.
Oh, yeah.
And so it makes it hard to tell. We went back by there on our own after the walking tour, and we couldn't get in, but it felt a little bit chaotic outside of the building. And also during that same tour that we didn't do this time, but a long time ago, we went into the Unitarian Church there as well, which was also part of the Underground Railroad. They had just uncovered, there had been a wall up, and they had just found this spot where that had been used as the Underground Railroad. There was this huge dirt floor that was about, I'd say it was about 4 feet up from the ground, and they would have to crawl back in, and there was a whole room back there that you couldn't get to without crawling through the dirt. So it was enough to where if somebody had heard them and they opened this up, you wouldn't be able to see back in there as long as there's no light.
Right.
And they had just uncovered this. That was back in 2009 that they had uncovered it. And so that one there, it felt very, the whole Unitarian Church felt odd. We actually had a woman that came in while we were.
It didn't feel like a church.
No, it did not. She came in and she got physically ill and had to turn around and walk out. And somebody had hung themselves on one of the transoms. He was a previous minister there. And, you don't know the Unitarian type of church. It's everything. I don't know how you can have a church that's everything. So however you wanted to worship, that's how you got to worship. So
my dad was buried at a Unitarian church. So, not buried, but his service was at a Unitarian church because of that.
So it was a little odd, but we had a few things happen during that tour that was very odd in that church, and we've wanted to go back ever since. But so when we were done going through this one house, with the lady with the ghost, we get a call from David and Charlie going, "Where you at?" And it's like, we'll meet you. So we went over and we met them over at the Mineral Springs Hotel. And I don't know.
New owners.
Yeah, new owners.
Not the same.
Yeah, they're not letting anybody investigate or anything like that.
Nothing.
Really? That's an iconic place.
I know. Troy
Taylor has his museum in there, but I do not know if it's still there today. There's a story in town there in Alton that he's been asked to leave his location.
Yeah, I don't think they want anything. I overheard some people in there talking. They said the new owners don't want anything that has to do with being haunted or anything.
Yeah, they're okay with It's Raining Zen in there.
Yeah, they don't. But no haunted stuff.
But
no ghost tours. Nothing.
Yeah, because Coyote Chris used to be friends with the guy that the family that owns It's Raining Zen, Dave and Donna. And I interviewed Dave a while back. Shoot, it's got to be 5 years ago, 6. I interviewed him about all the stuff that was going on there at Mineral Springs Hotel. And something occurred to where the new owner does not want anything paranormal at all there. So
that's unusual. Actually, the people at Sloss don't want anybody doing anything paranormal there now. So, Sloss, seriously.
Yeah.
Which is why I got in trouble and she doesn't talk to me anymore, because I kind of suggested that you should dance with the one that brought you.
Oh, yeah.
So that you would still have a museum to have. But that's okay.
I'll tell you, this guy that bought it owns a lot of the historic buildings there in Alton and is working on changing some of the stuff. And it's like, Alton is known as a haunted town, so I do not understand how you can bite the hand that feeds you from September and October, which for some of these companies that do these tours, they make all their money in September and October.
Yes.
You know, they do maybe one tour a month and any other month if possible. And, you know, and it's sad, but it is what it is. I mean, the guy bought the building for, well, the guy who sold it made a mint. He only bought it for like $100,000.
Right.
But the guy who just bought it from that guy, what was it, $900,000 is what she said. So anytime they mention haunted, Sharon's on it like stink on whatever.
Stink on stinky stuff. I don't know. Do we get in trouble for that here? But
well, I'm just being respectful of your audience.
Well, thanks.
My audience would just laugh at me and go,
her audience, we don't give a
right.
Sometimes I get very colorful in the things that I say. It's just
not you.
It's not sailor colorful. It's just colorful, you know.
Well, mine goes toward the sailor part, so that's why I kind of try to. Well, but you know me.
Yeah. So
people are always shocked. I'm such a sweet Southern little old lady, right?
Actually, you know, I'm starting to get my Southern on, and it's starting to probably creep out a few people. How does this girl that grew up in New Jersey and Maryland, Virginia, then living in Arkansas, Missouri, and Kansas have this attitude? It's because I've lived everywhere, people.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we met up with Susan and Mike at Mineral Springs, took them over to McPike, and ended up in the middle of a tour. Again.
You cannot get away from tours.
And so we get over
well,
there.
we're going to take them in a cellar. Of course, Sharon said they're doing some kind of pendulum session or something. You know, it's a private one.
Yeah.
So she goes, "What? You know, wait till they're done." And she kept saying
3:30.
They're supposed to be done at 3:00. And 3:30 rolls around. She goes, "They're supposed to be done." And what? 4:00. She goes, "They're supposed to be done." And then they started coming out like one at a time, but they all came in and bought something.
Yeah.
From her gift shop. So, you know, not going to run them off.
So once they were done,
but one at a time they came out.
Yeah. So we
till what, 5:30?
Yeah. So we finally get them in the basement and show them around and everything. And at this point, we're supposed to be going to Ashmore Estates.
Yeah. So yeah, we probably need to get going.
We've got 2 hours. And so in the meantime, I'm chatting with David and Charlie, Carl, and Susan and Mike, trying to figure out dinner so that we can, you know, all have a nice quiet meal together before no, it's never quiet, but a meal together before we go to Ashmore. And so we did it, and something strange happened, not really at dinner, but after we did all the Ashmore stuff, we went out to St. Omer's Cemetery. So I'm going to skip over Ashmore, and we're going to go back to that. But something to do with dinner has to do with St. Omer's. So
yeah, we all met for dinner. Carl and Gary had went to a Mexican restaurant the day before, and they said it was really good service, good food. And it's like, yeah, we're all for it. Mm-hmm. So we sit down, and I'm kind of on the end, and there was a man, a woman, their kid, and I don't know if it was her dad or his dad, but they were talking about sports. I guess his daughter played a lot. Sounded like she played a lot of sports, you know. But you know, I'm sitting that close, you just kind of overhear stuff, you know. And I got a good look at the people. And anyway, on Sunday when we're leaving, we're gonna, you know, we go out to this graveyard, and we hit, you know, we go to the one everybody says what, the witch's grave. They have her death date is February 31st.
Yeah.
So they think it's automatic witch.
A chisel typo.
Yeah. Or even back then, you know, they were really superstitious about the 13th. They could have just switched it around. I don't know. But anyway, we're looking at all the other graves, and there was one in the kind of in the front, in the corner, that was catching our eye. And it was like, you know, one of those picture stones. Mm-hmm. And I could see, you know, a baseball and a basketball, and that. I was like, oh, wow, that must, and then there was a blanket in front of it. And we all started going, well, let's start going over there. Well, about that truck, and this graveyard's in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
It used to be a little town there, but you can't tell. I mean, there's nothing, no structure. There's nothing left that even indicates there was a town there at one time, except this graveyard. So we start walking over, and this truck pulls up, and they're probably thinking, what are these people, doing out here in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
They get out. Yeah. They get out of the truck and they walk over to the grave that we were going to go to. So we went, well, I don't want to bother them, because it did look like the way it was set up. I said, it looks like a kid's grave. I said, well, they could have just lost their kid. I said, yeah, we don't want to bother them. So they were there, 10, 15 minutes. They did a little cleaning and that, and then they finally left. And we walked, we thought it was a new one, like a newer one, but it wasn't. It was a 15-year-old boy that had passed away in 2006.
Wow.
I think, but when the woman got out of the truck, I was looking at him and I went, why do I know these people? They look familiar. And as I was watching, I went, crap, these are the people that were sitting next to us at the restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I said, that's why I recognize what they look like.
Yeah. So when we first got to the graveyard, you can see this big stone for Barnes, Catherine Barnes, I think her name was. Something. It's so you can see Caroline Barnes, but you can see it back there back in the corner. And I really wasn't drawn to that one. I was drawn to this other one.
The other one.
He goes, which one are you drawn to? I said, that one over there. I said, it looks odd. Because it's a horse blanket, but you can't tell that from a distance. It looked like somebody had been sitting there talking to their child.
Yeah.
And, that in my mind, that's what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems so odd. Here comes these people as we
getting ready to walk over there.
That you had already seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting turn of events there. You didn't count on it. And of course,
well, there's another weird thing. Carl and Gary, we didn't see it, but I guess in the back part there, everything looks pretty flat. But Carl said he recognized there's, I don't know, I guess a little gap in the fence, about a foot and a half, and he noticed some deer tracks. So he thought he's gonna pop in there and see what other tracks he could find. And he said about 3 feet. 2 or 3 feet behind it is a 40-foot drop.
Whoa.
I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, if you're out wandering, goofing around that graveyard at night, it fell right off.
You're gonna get a surprise, yeah.
So I'm glad we didn't go out there at night, because
that's good to know, right? You need that information.
Yeah, and apparently it is open 24/7, so we could have gone.
Yeah, they could have.
But we went, so after we had dinner, we went and all of us went out there and
you're out there 9:30. We can't start until 11, but we thought, hopefully Robin's there. And I said, I have a feeling he might be, because with all these groups and last Saturday of the month and that, and somebody said, David said, he's here.
Yeah, David
said, well, let's go see. Let's go see if we can check in and get our stuff in the rooms, and then get set up. And we went in there. Robin likes to talk.
He does. I love him. He came to Birmingham.
Yes.
He came to Birmingham to do an investigation at Sloss, and we had breakfast together while he was here. I love that guy. He's such a nice man.
He's funny.
Do you know, I got 6 or 7 messages from him during the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was he saying?
Oh, different things. Try this, try that.
Oh, he is. He loves innovation.
So, we had told him that we had.
Oh, well, yeah, he had talked about that before.
Yeah, we also talked about an experiment we were going to do that we're still having. We still all have to listen to our stuff and talk about that. But we had Sharon Day on the show on 2 weeks. Well, 1 week, and then 2 weeks later, we had her on again. And she had mentioned, hey, why don't you guys try this? And it was like a group think thing.
Yeah.
So basically I put down 4 questions, just numbered them, and said, gave them to everybody and said, I want you, when we say 1, think this question. And the first question was, who scratched Denise? Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing was, I just put down the name David. Just think the name David. That was 2. 3 was, where are we? Where are you?
Okay.
Which that could have been any answer. Could have been here, there.
Yeah, different names.
The whatever
Ashmore. Yeah.
Ashmore, the Coles, the Alms Farm, Alms House, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different things it could be. And then what year is it? Also, any number that they come up with would be valid, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
So we did this 2 times on the 3rd floor with 4 different teams. We
were all spread out.
Yeah, two by 2. So it was Noah's Ark. And so we did it once without a ghost box.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did it a second time with a ghost box. And we did that on all 3 floors.
Can I ask something? When you did it without the ghost box, were you using just straight voice recorders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all used different ones. I used a cassette tape player.
Okay.
Cassette recorder. And others used digital. So we've got, and then we also had somebody use the video camera.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all different kinds of medium there for us to check out. So, and the thing is the way we did them, if they did them in order, they're going to know exactly where we were in each place, because we started on the top floor and ended on the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we hadn't been in Ashmore more than 10 minutes.
No, we went in there. Gary led us in a prayer to get started, and everybody started walking down the hall. And I said, I know everybody wants to start downstairs. I said, let's try. I don't want to get Denise scratched like right away.
Right.
Not just walking in here. But Mike and Sue, they seem to be kind of drawn over, to go down that go into the room, to go down, in the boiler room and the maintenance room. And then everybody else is kind of like, all right, here we go. And so we go down there, and I don't know, we're in the maintenance room, and we're not even there. I don't know. Was it even 5 minutes?
I don't think so.
David's asking questions, Charlie's asking questions.
No, actually, it was just the 6 of us.
I
don't think Dave and Charlie were
we were down there, and the next thing you know, Denise takes off like a shot. She doesn't say a word. She just gets up and leaves. I knew what happened.
I just didn't want to alarm anyone.
Yeah.
I just figured it was.
I was like, oh wow, we got off to a good start.
But
right off the bat,
just get it out of the way, right?
But what's strange is Mike and Susan got an EVP,
yeah,
not a voice, but a sound. It sounded like right about the same time, right before I got up.
Yep.
Odd, and that's an odd sound for it. I mean,
yeah,
that would be a strong scratch to have a sound.
And it was. And the funny thing is,
it lasted a couple days.
I had on
this one.
So I had on a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
And 2 sweat jackets.
Yeah.
Because it's cold.
Well, yeah.
So
it went through that.
Mm-hmm.
That's some determination, really.
So it was enough to where basically I didn't want to ruin anybody else's time and then make them think, oh my God, this is horrible.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, the next morning, both David and I fell down the same step at different times.
It wasn't that far apart, really.
And then
teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah.
So the next morning, we went to bed at like 4 a.m. Got up at what?
Said he missed he goes, I think I missed the last step, but then after a while he said, I'm not sure if I missed it or just kind of got shoved a little bit.
Helped with it.
I just know I fell and I bruised up my toe, but later on in the morning, we were investigating because we had the building until 6 p.m.
Yeah.
We got it at 11:15 at night and had it until 6 p.m. We did not stay until 6 p.m. Okay, I'm just saying. We needed to get home because we all know that traffic is
3:30. Yeah.
So we go and we're investigating in the morning with David and Charlie, and we're down in the boiler room area. I did not go down there this time.
Nope,
I sat at the top of the steps, and they had a REM pod set up, and it wasn't doing anything. No sound. And I go,
Dave even got up and went over and put his hand, on top of it, just make sure it was still working.
Right.
And they moved it to right as you're going in the room. And I said, so did you scratch me? Beep, 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 beep.
And it wouldn't shut off.
I said, can you leave?
It just kept going.
So I got provocative. I provoked. And I said, let's see if you can come out of that room. Can you come out of that room? And it just sat there and kept beeping. It would not. Yep. It was like he could not leave, go past that doorway.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. Is it just kept going. It wouldn't shut off.
And anytime I asked a question about something that happened with me or me provoking it, it went off. Then suddenly David went over and he moved it outside the door jamb. It stopped.
Well, couldn't get to it. That's fascinating.
So, and the thing is you can. He recorded it. I don't know how he's using it, but he recorded it. And like I said, I didn't go down there. I sat in a chair at the top of the steps. When you go down into the boiler room and into that back room, there's the steps right there. I just sat up there because I was like, I'm not going to provoke it from there. If I'm going to provoke, I'm going to do it from up here.
I already have the scar here.
So, yeah. But, at that point, I don't believe in provoking unless it's a place where if I'm in a jail and they're provoking the spirits provoke the other prisoners or the other people. Yeah, I'm going to provoke right back. I'm right there. But if it's just somebody who lives in a house that has a spirit in their house, I'm not going to go in there and start talking crap to them. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture of her scratch. It's a different looking one this time.
Really? Because I remember the first time.
Yeah, it's 3 down and then there's like one across. It's different.
Well, apparently whoever's there has been reading up on how to do interesting paranormal scratches. That's crazy. I guess they talk to people when they come up there to play with Robin. But that's just crazy because I remember when you got scratched before. Yeah. And that was not a good experience for you.
No, that was in in 2018.
Yeah.
Wow.
That one was really, really deep.
Yeah. And the only reason I remember, the main reason I remember it is because that's the year you and I got to have hospital time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I remember all of it from that. And the second time we went there, it was a day one. And I didn't get scratched that time, but I really wasn't.
I don't think you went down there.
I wasn't in the house in the building very much.
Go down in there.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I couldn't breathe in there.
Yeah,
because at that point in time, they were telling me, "Oh, you have to wear a mask, and if you're around any mold, mildew, or dust."
Yeah.
And so pre-COVID, they're telling me I have to wear a mask just to be in places, and I was like, I couldn't breathe. Next day I could, of course, it snowed the next day.
Yeah.
But Which reminds me, we had our coldest day that we're going to have this winter while we were at Ashmore Estates.
Well, step right up there and make that happen, girl.
Oh, and Robin's new outhouse.
Mm-hmm.
We were the first people to use it. And he told us to sign the walls. So
I was going to ask, did you sign the wall in it?
Well, he sent me a message and he said, make sure you sign the wall in the outhouse. I'm like, okay, if you say so.
He loves that.
The worst part was, well, we found yours. He had to refresh ours because, it was on that bumpy wall.
Yeah, it is bumpy.
But, we did have a good time. But they had to turn the water off to Ashmore because it was going to get to freezing. To keep the pipes from freezing is why we had to use the outhouse. And if you're
at least it was new.
Yeah, he did. He did tell us that. He said the marker is as soon as you walk in there, there's a lid. You just lift it up, and there's a hole down there. He said down in the hole you'll find the pin.
No,
I thought, wow, that was. I really had to reach down. It felt like.
Did you tell him that you were born at night, but it wasn't the night before? He's such a pistol. I'll tell you what.
The thing is when you think
I said, well, I'll bring my own pen.
Well, here's the thing. At least when we use the pens, we know nobody else had used them in the potty before. So anybody else probably needs wipes to take with them. Because I would not trust that they would be clean.
Yeah.
So, but
I probably have my own.
They had what is it called? A carbon monoxide detector in the bathroom, right by the urinal. Okay, so it's beeping. So Ron's in there getting beeped in his ear, and it's like, I don't know if his ears were going to ring for weeks. I don't know. But when we were in the building, we kept hearing this sound. And so I sent Robin a message. I said, is there anything in the building that makes a beeping sound? And he didn't answer that question, but I think he was driving at the time. But later on there's a carbon monoxide detector in the outhouse that needs a new battery. So we kept hearing this and going, what in the heck is that? And we're trying to figure it out because you can only hear it on the one side of the building, on the back side.
Did he not think ghost hunters would have a battery?
I guess not. So, well, you didn't. You left ours at home, or you thought you did. Yeah. We found them late. We found them when we got home. We had them in the bag. We just didn't know it. So,
put them somewhere.
But I will say we had so much fun. First off, surprising people at McPike.
That had to be just unbelievable.
And then being able to share McPike with some friends that have never gotten to be there before, and then getting to be with people that we love.
Yeah.
And
hanging out. It was fun.
Saying bye was really hard. It was really hard this time. Even though we were ready to get home because we'd been gone 8 days already by the time we were leaving Ashmore. But
yeah, we're gonna try and get together in April. I said, yeah, we don't have to do this every October. We could.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it when and it would probably be more cost effective if you were paying, and
Well, I mean, we're gonna look.
You'd be warm.
Get everybody's ideas, on something in Missouri or Kansas or Arkansas. I mean, those areas are not too far for any of them to go.
Yeah. And we
know it's going to be a drive anyway. So and wherever we go, we know somebody or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do the meetup wherever we go. But like I told them, I said, as long as I get to stop and see Farrah on one of these trips, I don't care. Yeah. I will make sure that, no matter where we go, we get to see her because, she's been she's been wanting to see us. And, now that we share a wedding anniversary with her too, it's kind of fun, to be able to go hang out. But yeah, we didn't get to see it. We drove by her house when we came down and went back and came down, and we haven't been by there since.
Not like right by it, but
it's about 20 minutes off the road in Missouri to go to Houston, Missouri, where she lives.
But with a U-Haul and hauling a car on a trailer,
that makes it a little tough.
Yeah,
7 dogs,
maneuvering,
3 cats.
Yeah, we couldn't really stop on the last trip down. We couldn't really stop at anything except let dogs out and
clean up cat poop,
getting gas, and that was about it.
Yeah, thank God the cats were with him, and if they had gas, it didn't matter.
I'm not even touching that.
Well, you didn't know that I had
we
mama
had three,
and the
three cats that had really never traveled before.
Yeah,
they never even been out of the house
3
except
miles
to go get fixed years ago. That was it.
They probably have bad connotations with getting in the car.
Well, they screamed for 2.5 hours as soon as we got in the truck, and one of them never really had a voice.
Never meowed.
Her name Coco.
Yeah.
We'd never heard her meow. You see her mouth moving when she was a kitten, but nothing would come out. But everything works now.
She made up for that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's 10 years old.
And she yells at me every morning and night.
And see, in my case, I was in the car with Leah's dogs and her 5 puppies.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 puppies just learned how, while we were in the car, how to get out of the box.
Oh my gosh.
How's that for fun? I ended up with at least 2 of them sleeping on my lap at any given moment while I was driving.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's crazy.
And one thing that woke them up was driving through Birmingham when the road was making all that noise.
Yeah.
When they're on
You're
65. Yeah.
I saw they paved it.
Yeah, it looks much better.
They've been doing there's a lot of repaving going on. So
so when we came back from Ashmore, we did come through Alabama, but we were in a hurry to get home at that point.
Yeah.
So
I'm just crushed. I can't believe it. I get wanting to get home. Seriously.
Well, I didn't know if you were still down in Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
We were making such good time that we drove right through Montgomery, and she gets off her phone. She says,
I wasn't on my phone. I was on my computer.
I said, how long we got till Montgomery? And I'm like, baby, we passed that.
Yeah.
We're halfway there.
Yeah.
Have y'all stopped at Priesters?
No.
That place is packed.
You've got to go to Priesters.
I told him,
evidently.
I said, this must be the Osceola cheese of
Alabama.
So, because
it is clean. They did a reno. It's got fantastic bathrooms. It's got all kinds of do-lines. They sell Life is Good. They have food, like a hot table that you can do stuff. They have ice cream. They have homemade fudge. And if you're there, if you go upstairs, they have a clearance section.
Oh.
Huh.
So, and they do like Auburn, Alabama, that kind of stuff, but they also do like Life is Good, everything. And I'm a Life is Good freak.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it must be really good. It's always packed every time we drive by it.
It is for most of us that have been driving that most of our lives, that's the stopping point.
Right.
And if you go on down to Evergreen, there's a place called Kanika Sausage. And it's also the Bigfoot capital of Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Well, we've stayed in Evergreen. Somebody suggested that we stayed there one time. And
who would do that to you?
You.
I didn't say stay at Evergreen.
You said that it was a good place to turn off, and we were lucky that time that when we met you for lunch that day, and we went down there and we stayed. What was funny was we left and we went to get something to eat, and we came back and our hotel door was open. Everything was still in our room, nothing was gone, but we don't think the door shut right, and that was
Or
the
you had a
first time
friend.
there was a whole bunch of construction people there. I don't think that they cared about what we had in our room.
I didn't mean that kind of friend. I meant,
who knows? But what was funny was the next day we got up and we went to get gas. We were going to get breakfast at Hardee's or something. Yeah. And we get over there and my card won't work. It's not a big deal. We don't think anything of it. It's just, we figure, well, no, he just paid cash for breakfast because we had cash. We went to go get gas and my card wouldn't work. So I thought, well, maybe it just didn't read it right. So we do it again and it doesn't work. And it says, see cashier. We go in there and I talk to her and I go, well, what's going on? She goes, I don't know. She goes, I'm just seeing that your card's being declined. She goes, but it doesn't say why. Usually it gives them a reason, why you're being declined, insufficient funds or whatever. Bank of America had a major outage. It wouldn't work nowhere. So we pulled over at Hardee's and I can't get through on the national number. So I looked up the one where we went in Kansas City and just called them and said, hey, this is going on. And she goes, yeah, we're having a major outage. She goes, just, go to the nearest Bank of America. And of course, in Evergreen, the nearest Bank of America is on 9 Mile in Pensacola.
Oh my gosh. Which
is, we're going that way. As it was,
we were asked to get there. Yeah.
Yeah. We were looking at houses in that area. We were going to go up to Cantonment and check out some stuff up there. We get there to Bank of America and everything seems to be working. And I go to use the ATM and one of the digits that you would touch would put in 2 of them. It was stuck.
Oh.
So needless to say, it was putting in 6 digits, so we go in and we meet this really nice lady there and she goes, yeah, that we just got all that fixed. And, I just threw her card away. I mean, this is 6 years ago. I just threw her card away, but we get in there and she goes, yeah, we just had this problem. I said, well, maybe we should just get ahead and get some cash just in case. And that was our first experience with anybody in an area where we thought we could live here. And it happened to be at a time when we thought that we were going to have to be turning around and going home the next day because we didn't know if they were going to be fixing the problem. So it was just really weird that it all happened. And now, that Bank of America's the second closest one to us now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of odd. So
things work out.
They're still doing construction on that road.
They will always be doing construction on that road.
Yeah, we found that out. Here 6 years later, they're still doing construction on 9 Mile.
Still faster in Illinois.
Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes
30 years I've 40. Driven on. Well, there was a few years where they didn't have any.
They started before you even knew it.
So when I used to go to my mom's, I'd leave St. Louis and I'd take 64 to get there. And in Mount Vernon, Illinois, there's a, kind of makes this little turn and it's always under construction. Always. So when my mom died,
4 or 5 mile stretch.
When my mom died, there was no construction. It was the only time we went through there and there was no construction. Here's the first time we come through here in 8 years, 7 years.
Wow.
And it's construction. It's 1 lane. I'm like, what in the
world
world
just do this? On? What could have happened to that road, right? What could have happened to that road that they have to come back and do this now?
I told Ron, I said, I think that they use this stretch of road for training. For all the people who live close by, they keep finding stuff to do so they don't have to go anywhere else but right there in town.
I feel like that about that bridge construction down there by y'all. I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a bear. If you're coming, if you're not on the interstate, if you're trying to come, the beach road to get up to Milton, oh my gosh. And that's been going on since before Mark moved down there.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah.
They needed to do it different. They needed to raise it up higher.
mm-hmm.
And you know what? If you do see anybody working, it's only a couple people.
Yeah.
It's
that
not very
whole-
many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
That's so
January, we were coming back from the hospital. I had a procedure done, and we're just coming back, and all of a sudden we hear this sound, click, 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 and I thought it was the car next to us. And then it stops, and then click, 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 and I'm like, what in the hell's going on?
Welcome to construction.
And I listen,
Nice,
and I'm like,
big screw.
yeah, it was a screw about this long
Get
in
out.
our tire. And we pull
That's
into,
huge.
we'll see, since I had been in the hospital, I hadn't had any food. So he takes me to Popeyes there on 90. And we pull in, and I look at the tire and I can hear it. And, nothing we can do about it at that point. So we go in and we eat, and I look out there and I go, well, that tire's flat. And here I am. I'd been under anesthesia. I'm supposed to be in bed.
And what I do? Time me.
Yeah. And so he pulls out of the spot, and he gets someplace where he's got more room, to fix it. And we end up going to walk around Walmart for 3 hours while they're fixing it. I'm getting calls from work going, hey, where are you? And I was like, first off, was under anesthesia. I can't talk to you, but we got the tire fixed. And here's this, they hand us this screw this big that we picked
unbelievable.
up from that construction.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big old screw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't go that way unless we really need to.
Yeah.
If we're going over, now we'll go over to West Florida sometimes, and we haven't done it in a while, but we've picked up disc golf.
Mm-hmm. Do you like that? I'm not great at it either.
I like the walking around.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but
eventually my arm gets tired.
She pretty much retired after she started. So
hey, the last time I did it, what did I get? I got, what was it?
Got a birdie.
Okay, I got it in 2.
I just don't think that we have where I walk the dogs. We have that. So Tom McNicholas, you are so bad. I love that. But, well, if it was really, you wouldn't be sad for them. But the whole thing about the disc golf is that it's so annoying. It is annoying. But I'm terrible at real golf.
Yeah, it's just like real golf. It pisses you off too.
Right? And I went golfing with David when we were, I was much younger. And my family golfed, and my cousin, the boy, got to do the golf cart, right?
Yeah.
I had to stay at the pool with the girls. So when David decided that he would take me with him, I was just kind of like, yay. I could not hit the ball. Like on the tee. Yes. I didn't even whiff it off the tee. And I finally got so mad that I was just like, I'm not doing this. Here's my club. Because I'm a really good athlete, and I could not hit that ball. And so I thought, well, okay, hey, April. But it was just so embarrassing because we weren't by ourselves. And I'm not used to doing something that I'm not good at. It really, sports wise and whatever. So, which sounded really conceited. I'm not conceited. I'm old. I've done a lot of sports, but it's just so, it's one of the things that make me still tense up. And so that's why I thought disc golf, I got this. They have them at the dog parks, and, so I could have the dogs and still be playing and see the dogs. No, I'm terrible at that too. I think it's because it has the word golf in it.
Yeah, my brother's he's pretty good at it. When we were up in St. Louis, we went out to one of the courses out there, and he's pretty darn good at it. He's been doing a lot longer than me, but
Yeah. Well,
he's
all
got
of
a
my family were.
big bag of discs, different ones for different shots, and which I didn't know. I
Oh,
was just
fancy. I
messing
didn't
around
know
with
there
it.
was that.
Oh yeah,
Different weights.
I knew there was, but I didn't know that it made that much difference. But believe me, it did.
Really?
And
Okay.
he goes, yeah, try this one, and I'm just. Then I started throwing it a different way, and my distance was a lot better. And I said, I've never thrown
Okay.
that far.
What about your accuracy?
That's not bad. That's not too bad.
I
Yeah,
think
mine's
that,
not horrible.
yeah, I think I would be good with that. But, I'm just gun shy or golf shy.
Honestly, I like it. It's just I have to have the time
Mm-hmm.
to do it. And which thing do I want to do more? Do I want to go play disc golf or do I want to go to the beach?
Beach.
Well, no beach this weekend.
Beach
Yeah,
golf.
no beach
beach
this weekend.
golf.
So
Well, hopefully, if
Double
it has
red.
to move, it has to move to. It looks like it's going to the boot.
Yeah.
And into
Oh,
Texas.
they're saying big waves and really big
Well,
waves.
the golf is.
from that.
I'm going to tell you, the golf is fun. Anybody listening, I'm not saying swim in the Gulf when there's hurricanes. That's double red flags, and don't do that. It's so dangerous. It's not worth the rush. But the waves, if you're out on the beach, the waves, oh my goodness.
That was last weekend. They were huge.
yeah.
Well, when there's a storm of this
well.
nature out there, you just won't believe it. Because if it's they'll close the water for the undertow and stuff, but when they're closing the water because of a storm, it's so beautiful. Because you'll still see some idiots that are out there with their boards, but
Yeah,
don't
There's
try to save them. You'll drown with them. But
yeah, there was a guy out there. I call it a human kite.
yeah, the kite.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever
Yes,
done
I
that?
do. I love those. Yeah,
You've done it before? I want to
windsurfing.
learn how to do that.
It's not easy. But,
No, it didn't look easy.
But
this
but
guy, you could tell he'd been doing it a long time.
But all you have to do is learn how to steer.
Yeah.
And once you figure that out, and you need to make sure that, you're not around a pier. Don't be around a pier.
He was away from it.
Yeah, he was closer. He was down towards the Air Force Base in Navarre. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
it looked like fun.
Yeah, there were 6,
It is.
5.
Yeah,
5
he made
to
it
8
look
foot
really
swells
easy.
when we were
They
there.
do. It's not.
No, I know
it is once you learn how to steer appropriately. It's such fun, but it's very physical.
Yeah, there was a guy, or there was a group teaching people how to do it on the over by on the base, on the sound side, where the volleyball is.
Yeah.
There in Navarre, they were doing it. But the thing is we've had so many accidents lately. People running into crap with their jet skis and stuff. Yeah, we've had like 4 or 5 in between Pensacola and Navarre, people running into the bridge with their jet skis.
It's called tourists.
Yeah.
Or drunk.
Drunk tourists. Double whammy.
Yeah. So, I see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, last weekend was one of those weekends where you didn't want to be, Friday and Saturday, you didn't want to be in Pensacola. Not with, the Blue Angels are great and everything. The Thunderbirds are great too, but the traffic was horrible.
Yeah. Well, it was their last one.
Homecoming.
Yeah. So that's always, I should have told you that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I knew.
Okay.
Oh, I knew. And that's the thing. I told Ron, I said, I'd like to go sometime to see them during practice. I don't want to go when there's all those people.
Well, their practice is amazing. And if you're lucky, I think you can reserve to go up in the lighthouse while they're doing it, be up on the rotunda. and you can be out there watching them. They'll buzz you.
Yeah, one of our friends, we met Richard and Colleen Johnson. I forgot the name of their paranormal. EVP is their paranormal group out of Pensacola.
Yeah.
Ethereal Voices Paranormal. There we go. See, I remember.
We'll see
Good
them
job.
tomorrow.
We'll see them tomorrow.
Well, tell them I'd like to talk to them. So
Okay. And they got a house that's right there in the path of where they do all the practice. I said, well, if you need anybody to help you with yard work on those days,
let me volunteer. You know,
so because I want to see them. We've lived here. This will be the second homecoming we've been here, and we still haven't seen them. I mean, they flew over our house once, but they weren't doing anything. They just flew over.
yeah,
Where have you been?
they had to make an appearance. So
Well, the thing is
Big fluff ball.
she's Ron's cat.
yeah,
She only jumps on me during the show.
Yep, that's it.
that's her job, or she
But,
thinks
yeah.
that's her job. But I'll tell you that I love to go to the practices, and when you go, there's a little bitty guy because they have guides or people that are chatting through it, describing what's happening. And there's a small man, and I love him because as they come in, he takes, he's waving his hat, but he takes a knee as they're landing to guide them and stuff.
Yeah.
And he is the best narrator. And there is, so is there, I'm going to interrupt. Is there a national group associated with ghost hunters having different paranormal groups in the country? Like a national organization, April?
With
Because
ghost
that would be
hunters?
no.
I mean, the only one I know of would be TAPS, and that's
Yeah.
international.
Well, that's international, but that's also very specific.
Yeah. So let us know
But-
more, April, what you're thinking.
Well, we got to investigate with Highland Paranormal, which is a TAPS group in Scotland. And they are the ones, they have a lot of Wiccan people involved with that. And, it's because like if you're in Edinburgh, everybody is dressed like Harry Potter, right? Because Diagon Alley is there. That's where a lot of the filming happened. And it's the mindset because of the university. But it's so fun because no matter where you go, the things that we think people might be odd for, because people judge here in America, nobody gives a rat's butt. And you just do you, and it's brilliant. And the paranormal there was so cool. I can't wait for us to be in Ireland together doing some investigations because I'm going to use your tools. So just so you know.
Well,
so
I'm hoping to find the answer to that question about the expiration date.
On spirits.
yeah.
Do spirits have expiration dates? What's the oldest spirit we've seen?
Oh, well, I know that I don't think there is an expiration date. It'll be a good question, though, because if you go into the Middle East or, places in Scotland that are ancient, I mean, there's centuries old spirits, or historical hauntings.
Yeah. But, it goes back to why don't we see dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Is it because they didn't have a soul?
See cats and dogs.
I think that we do see house pets because of the love, and they're attached to us too.
But you don't love dinosaurs?
No.
So if Barney dies, he's going to come back and haunt you, Ron.
He just looked like, what?
It's because he loves you and you love him.
And we're just one happy family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we've had way too much of that.
Yeah, I wonder about that kind of stuff. And you know what? Someday I'll have to tell you this story that makes me feel like I know that there's an answer to that question, and how I can theorize that I know an answer to that and give you the theory. But
Are we
Not
talking about the dinosaurs or the expiration date?
about the expiration date.
Okay.
So
Well, you've got 15 minutes, girl. Go.
You talking about from all the
no,
near-death experiencers we've?
no, not about that. So ever since Clover was born, okay.
Oh, okay.
Some people have heard this already, but since Clover was born,
My
I
granddaughter.
felt like I have had a connection with her before she was born.
Right.
Before she, of course,
Okay.
my mom died when Ruby was born, and I tell people all the time, I may have experienced my mom one time, and it was when I was in the hospital in Kansas City, and the only reason I think that she'd have been there was because she had been there before with me when I gave birth to Leah.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew this hospital. So I heard her walk away. This was when I got that Lynx device put in, and I told you that my nurse was a paranormal investigator and recognized me.
Yeah.
Like, great. That's what you want. Looking at all my body parts, and
interior, exterior, they're everywhere. Yeah.
So boy, her tail. And so needless to say, I heard my mom one time, and that would have been in probably 2020. Clover's born in 2021, and I kind of just kept feeling like after she was born that she was an old soul. Once we got past that from the time she was born,
right?
And I said, something's different here. And if I had just said that once, it'd be one thing, but it was always happening. And, for the first year and a half of her life, I was with her every day. Yes. I slept with her, I slept with her at night, and, I worked there. I was never home, so I got to know her very well. Well, they moved to South Carolina. The kid listens to, okay, she walks up to their record player. Okay, a record player. How many 3-year-olds even know what a record player is?
How many adults?
She puts on a record every day of, well, her favorite is Elvis Christmas. There's an Elvis one that they have. There is a Johnny Cash album, George Jones, and bluegrass. Okay, all things my mom loves. She gets up every morning, puts one on the record player, starts it up, and she listens to this for however long she's wanting to listen to it. And Leah said that it was like she instantly knew the words to Ring of Fire. Okay, a 3-year-old does not know the words to Ring of Fire.
No, it says over and over, but yeah,
but not the very first time they hear it.
Yeah.
And I said, if I talk to Clover on the phone, she doesn't say anything. Leah says she just sits there and smiles.
Yeah.
That she's just happy to hear my voice. And, when I'm with her, she's on me all the time. And I think that my mom, the reason I don't experience my mom anymore is because she was reincarnated.
Yeah.
She chose to come back
and be close to you.
Be close to us. And that this is where she's at. So that's what it makes me think, is that my mom has now chosen to come back, and this is how she's chosen to come back as. It kind of gives you the reason why I'm not seeing her spirit, but why I feel like she's there.
Yeah.
So
stranger things have happened. Yeah, we both know stranger things have happened.
Yeah. When I think about it, we talked to that John J. Davis about, well, I didn't, I got sick, but they got to talk to him about his death experience. And he claims it's a near-death experience, but I think that he died. Okay. And the reason I say that is because he didn't see the white light. Everybody talks about the white light in the tunnel.
Mhm.
When he died, he skipped that and went straight to the next step.
To the entrance.
So he's gone beyond that. He was dead for 7 minutes. I'd say near death is probably a couple minutes, as far as that goes. But I think that he died, and that's why he didn't see the tunnel, because he just boom right there. I'm there, and that's it. So it just makes you wonder. And one of the things he said that was really interesting was that when you die, you get to pick when you come back and who your parents are and who, what your life is going to be, that there's basically a whole catalog that you can pick from.
You get a new contract.
Yeah.
A soul contract.
And he had talked about past lives.
And where you live.
Yeah. And he said, and while he was there, he got to see his past lives. In one life, he was a fisherman, and another one, he was a cobbler. He said shoemaker, so I'm going cobbler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
and a blacksmith.
And a blacksmith. So
well, he just didn't do the nursery rhymes, so.
Yeah. So you got all these things, and I think about that, and it's like, it's very possible if the experience that he had during his death is any indication, is this true? And like April, I still wonder if one of your kids isn't reincarnated from your father. Maybe that's the reason why you're not experiencing him as much as you think you should.
It could be.
Your dad wanted you to have a buttload of kids, and you got a buttload of boys, but you got them. So it just makes me wonder if that's the reason why some of us don't experience the loved ones that we had, is because we've got them with us and we just didn't know it. I
think that's very logical. And I think it's very possible. No, sorry for what?
Because that is one of the things that, I tell people this all the time. My whole job is all data.
Yeah.
So some of this touchy-feely stuff doesn't go along with what I do.
Yeah.
I need data. And so all these things that have happened with Clover are all just data points. And these data points are telling me that no matter what, she's my granddaughter, but is it possible that she's my mom too in there somewhere? That something, that the essence of my mom is in there, because we know that my mom's DNA is in there. It's in me.
Yeah.
It's in Leah.
And yeah. And, they say that the eggs that will be our children are already being carried in our elders as we cycle down through. So that's something that's, I don't see why that wouldn't be possible.
The thing
especially because I know you. And
I wish we knew more.
Well, let's play with that.
So, like I said, that's a theory that I have. I just don't know. I'm going to have to test it at some point. Hey, Mom.
You going to offer a pack of cigarettes?
Yeah. Right. If Clover starts, well, she tried decaffeinated coffee today, and she's hooked. She likes decaf coffee.
Yep, that's one bad habit.
Yeah, my mom loved coffee.
Yeah.
If she starts drinking Pepsi, then we're in deep.
That's probably why that does skip every other generation, the coffee thing. Because we don't drink coffee at all, and all our kids do.
Yeah. Well, yep. I like 2 cups in the morning, and I'm good. And I drink decaf, so.
Yeah. I don't get any This is the most caffeine I get anymore. Some green tea.
Yeah.
And once those are gone, there will be no more. It'll all be homemade. We're going away from as much crap that mass-produced stuff as we can.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So,
but
just in time to go ahead.
To what?
Nope. Not important. Go ahead.
Just in time for what?
Oh, just in time for these trips. I'm going to be
There you go.
I got to eat all this crap out in the real world, and we'll probably get sick.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we get out of the U.S., you'll be so surprised by the way people eat that aren't here. So I can eat anything there. There's no gluten intolerance because Monsanto is not allowed in the EU.
Yep.
And up until recently, the UK was part of that, and they don't allow that. It's banned.
They don't allow canola oil.
Yeah.
And they don't allow, one example I gave Ron was strawberry and cream oatmeal from Quaker here versus there.
Yeah.
You got like 5 ingredients over there, and here you got 20.
Well, and it's real porridge because when we stayed in the dorms at St. Andrews, they had breakfast, the cafeteria for each dorm. And it was very different breakfast food as a rule, but very much better for you. So, and I did not do blood pudding.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Also not doing anything with kidneys either.
No. Not anything that filters all of that.
Yeah.
But you've got, go ahead.
There might be some changes on all the extra stuff added here pretty soon too, and our foods.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's really good because a lot of the stuff they're adding is to get you addicted.
Yeah, it is.
Good for nothing, but
yeah. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central on the Paranormal Pride, in every place that you're watching this now, just about. And you can also find me on Tuesday nights at 5 p.m. Central with Ron and Carl on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. Yeah. And we never know what you're going to have there. And if you're in the Milton, Florida area, one Thursday a month, we have the Milton Paranormal Meetup with Mark Fultz, and we have a great time. So if you're in the area and you want to join, let me know, and I'll tell you when it's going to be. It's usually the first or second Thursday of the month. Like tomorrow night, we're going to be seeing Mark.
Yep.
Sounds good. Maybe I will just leave early. What time do y'all start?
7 p.m.
Good deal. So glad it's less political. No freaking doubt. Okay. So I'm a political science major. I'm supposed to love this stuff. This has been so annoying. But anyway, I am so glad that you were here. Thank you so much. And I just love you. Love you, bud.
Love you.
But you know what? Thank y'all for being here. I love having you because we have such good times. But we will be back next week. I'll be back Sunday with Fate Mag Radio, the online voice of Fate Magazine, and all these fun places that you're seeing us now. And next week is going to just be fantastic. Just everybody enjoy yourself. Be blessed. Go out and hug somebody. And if you've got friends that are upset politically, love them through it. Let them love you through it. We're all one people. And we're all, going to pull through everything. Everything works out. So, all the love. Namaste. Be good. Be blessed. See you next time. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night.
Good night, everybody.